One of the good things with Century College is in the past, most of the colleges you'd had to be on a fire department and then you would go to Century or Hennepin to be trained. And knowing that we're losing a lot of those types of folks out there, Century was, I believe, one of the first, and we use it through the training center where they'll actually train people who are not on a department at this time. So if you wanted to be a firefighter not affiliated with the department, you get all that training, and that gives you the opportunity to go anywhere to do it. Century's played a huge role in that. They manage part of the training center in certain sites, and it's been really good. Excellent.
Great. Now, for anyone that might aspire to be a firefighter, is there a web page or is there a phone number they could call? Or I'm sure you're always looking at potential recruits.
Yep, we are. Actually, what we do today is that we hire folks that have already been trained through the process and with our part-time staff. And so we highly suggest if anyone today is interested in being in the fire service, getting on a fire department today is harder than it ever was, but we still in very much in need of trained and firefighters who are very energetic. We need our younger folks to get more actively involved. I'd highly recommend you call Century College. You could call our office at area code 651-249-2801, and we can put you in touch with the right people and funnel you where you would need to go, and we'd be very happy to do that. And then get a hold of Century College and ask for their fire program, as well as their EMS programs to get your EMT in that, and they'll be more than happy to help you out on that.
Is it a very diverse force that you have, and there's women? Now it traditionally was male.
Yep.
But has that changed?
It is a little bit.
There's certain requirements, I know, in terms of lifting and et cetera. But
right now in our department we have 2 gals, and they do a fantastic job for us. The requirements though are pretty much, I mean, we don't really look at them as any different. If we go into a fire, we believe and we know they can do what we need to do to get out, and so it's been great. We do have some diversity on the department. It's not quite where we'd like it to be yet. There are not a lot of firefighters out there who are firefighter paramedics type thing of color, and so we look more and more towards that as we do that to try and spread out our diversity, which we think is very important. When the city of Maplewood right now is about 30% of color, we deal a lot with the Asian population, Hispanic population, so we try to pick up a few, get those involved because they're an asset when we go out on medicals and fire calls.
Great. And Chief, bottom line is promoting safety.
Absolutely.
And for our viewers, any tips that you'd just like to share in general? And I know too that there's written materials that you can have, and you probably firefighters, I know you can always stop by the station, and sometimes there's visits that you'll do, but some overall tips that would be most important for people to remember.
I'm actually, when I leave here today, going to Weaver School to speak to their kindergarten kids. One of the big things we really want to talk about today is what we call all hazard planning, and that means if you were to have a fire in the house, a severe storm, a tornado, any of those kinds of things, and that is have an action plan in the house. Make sure the kids understand where you're going to meet if you have to leave the house. The mailbox would be great so that everybody's together. One thing the fire departments is going to do, and no matter where you are, the first thing they're going to ask for, do we have an all clear of the house? And does that mean is everyone out and accounted for, even including the pets? I mean, we know they are a family member and we treat them the same as we go out there. And so we ask you to get into a spot and make sure that everybody's accounted before. It makes our job a lot easier than going back into the house. The other big thing is remember that let's not use too many extension cords is another big one. Smoking is still one of the number one causes for fires in homes today, and we really encourage that. We encourage kids don't play with matches, and the cigarette lighters, those types of things. And the stove fires today. The kitchen fires are still up there as one of the top ones, and we really encourage people don't leave stuff on the stove. Make sure someone is there to manage it, to look at it and watch it and do things. And of course, one of the big things we're really disappointed that didn't get through, and that was the sprinkler system in new homes. We really believe that at some point will add a lot of value. It may have been a little expensive at the time, but I believe those costs will come down, and that's going to be a huge thing to help save lives. And it's not so much to put out the house, it's to give those folks an egress out is more than what we were looking for to get out to a safe location. So stay safe, be careful. For our seniors out there, remember, make sure you try to get the railings that you need in your bathrooms to help you up and such, as well as if you need a cane and a walker, use it. And remember, railings are made to be used on steps, and so we encourage everyone to use them.
Excellent. And I know that especially during the summer and the 4th of July, the
Oh, yeah.
fireworks and well, they can be entertaining. They can also be deadly. And I know you've had to respond to some sad calls. Some common sense advice on that.
Well, one of the things is if you are going to use them today, what you're going to use them with an adult supervision. And I can't stress that enough. Probably the highest number of calls that we get is with non-supervised young adults, children type things. And even the smallest little ones you have can be dangerous simply due to the point everything needs to be lit. And
Yes.
so a match or a cigarette lighter or a flare or something is always involved, and that's one of the big things. And younger children don't understand that putting something even small in your hand not only can burn your hand, but can make huge damage to your hand. And even though you may get it, but your tendons and your ligaments are so close to the surface here that even any kind of significant injury can do damage to those as well, and that's never a good thing. And to the adults out there, I say please monitor your children and please use them smartly. I know sometimes alcohol when you're out partying can be involved, and we really say use them with very, very caution.
Yes.
And we want to make sure you don't put them in the home. Use them up. Don't store them for the next year. We get a lot of that. Sometimes we'll have a fire where they got so old they finally ignited. And so really be cautious on how you use the fire. Have a great time. That's what they're meant for. But use them the way they were intended.
Well, Chief Steve Lukin, thank you so much for
Thank
your
you,
service.
Senator.
And I did introduce you as
Yeah.
well to Dalmatian in my office as a fire chief cap on.
Yep,
And
exactly.
so, yeah, I get a lot of young people that come to the office, and they always get a kick out of that
Yeah.
too. And so, and we do what we can to promote fire safety and for the training center. And I want to do a special shout out too for your outstanding staff, for the paid staff, the dispatchers, the volunteers that are there on call. Just as you have had to go away from birthday parties and all
Yep.
that, they're there to protect people. And
I
appreciate
have
it.
a great staff. I mean, they're the best in the business. I'd put them up against anybody. They're very dedicated and willing to go above and beyond, and they're very public orientated, and that's one of the best things I like about it. And I love them all like my brothers, and it's been a great time to serve them, and they do an outstanding job for our city.
Chief Lukin, thank you very
Thank
much.
you,
Best
Senator.
to you and Kathy in the years ahead.
Thank you very much, sir.
Good. Viewers, if you'd like more information on fire safety, the programs, if you'd like a visit in your own area, I know the chief or his assistants, they would be happy to follow up. So get a hold of them. If you have questions of me, give me a call. My cell, 651-770-0283. Thank you.